Hi, it's Hans at ahappierman.com. Today's topic is a technique to help you leave your verbally abusive wife. I have a variety of verbal abuse YouTube videos on my Happier Man YouTube channel, and then in my on my ahappierman.com website, I've got a bunch of articles about verbal abuse too. And the reason I talk about verbal abuse is in the context of being a happier man is I was a verbally abused man when I was married. It was the reason that caused me to leave my wife, and it's all these years later I've been taking steps to get happier and happier and happier. And it was only by leaving my verbally abusive wife that I was able to get to this point of happiness. So one of the things that I had in my book that was kind of helpful in what the strategy I used to kind of build myself up and have to kind of create the kind of life I wanted, which is the life I have now, is I went to the end. What did I want my life to be? And I wanted to talk about it in terms of, you've probably heard of the manifestation teacher, Neville Goddard, and I'm reading a couple of his books now, and a lot of the manifestation, law of attraction type of teachers and gurus are kind of based on his ideas, so it's a very good source. But in essence, that manifestation teaching is, you want your life to be a certain way, or you want some in it, or you want some experience. So you would, if you had that in your life, that experience, the way your life was, how would you feel? What would your life be like if that's the way it was? So in my case, I had all the things in reality that were happening to me: the verbal abuse, the threats, the put downs, the sarcasm, the belittling, the badgering, the giving me a hard time, the constant chaos and drama. I wanted none of that, none of it. So I had these little, I would write down on a small pad of paper that I kind of carried with me everywhere, how I wanted my life to be. I wanted all these things. I wanted kind of the opposite of what I was experiencing at the time. And I just kept, as I would discover a new way I wanted my life to be, I'd write it in that little book. So I had this little list of all these things. My wife is very nice to me. She treats me kindly. There's no drama. There's no chaos. She respects me. She loves me for who I am. All kinds of things. How you want your life to be. And I would be reading this, in spare moments. I'd pull it out at work sometimes. If I'm sitting on the toilet, I'd pull out of my pocket and look at it. Not in front of her, right? In private moments. And I would constantly be looking at this, and in reality my life was the total opposite of how I had written it in my little book, how I want my life to be. So this was, in effect, was a strategy to pull me to the happier life I'm living now. Because I wanted my life to be how I had written it in this little book, staying with a verbally abusive spouse was not going to get it for me, right? And it didn't, she didn't change to be nice. I changed to decide, I can't deal with this verbal abusive spouse anymore. I'm going to have to leave. So I think you could make use of this strategy. If you want to read about it more, it's in my book, Leave Your Wife and Become a Happier Man with the 3-Step System. It's available on the ahappierman.com website. It's a PDF book. I'm not going to mail you anything. They make your wife suspicious. You just have to have a a private email that you can get this. And if you have any problems, if you buy the book and you have any problems downloading, I give you personal service to make sure you get it. But I think you'll like this. This technique is very handy. I'm just reading this Neville Goddard's works, and seeing how I put this in practice to make my life enormously successful compared to where I was. I'm just so happy. I'm just light years of happiness beyond where I was, and I want this for you. I want you to have a great life. I don't want you to struggle and suffer and have to deal with a verbal abuse. It's not good for you. It's not good for you're going to die young. You're going to want to die. You're going to want to die young because of this verbal abuse. It's not fair for you as a man to have to put up with this. So, give that strategy a little thought and see if that helps you. I'd love to hear your comments, of course, on this, and I'd love for you to check out that book on my website also. Give that idea some thought. All for now.